Okay, welcome back. This is the illustration of values tutorial video. I'm starting us off on the InsMark Essentials main menu screen. And before we go into the illustration of values module, I just want to review the best practice on this is to listen to the homepage video where I walk through kind of a general explanation of what we're doing with InsMark Essentials. And then watch the tutorial video in the illustration of values module, then the permanent versus term, then the video in other investments, and the video in various. And these last two should be pretty short. That way they kind of build on each other, and that way you'll completely understand how to use the software. So what we'll do first is let's go into the illustration of values module. Go in there. And then what you're going to see in here is this very first section that says policy data. And what this section is wanting is it's wanting you to tell it what case from your carrier illustration, or if you're using WinFlex, what policy data do you want to use to create this illustration of values presentation. And what you'll see, all of your InsMark Essentials software comes loaded with one sample workbook file with multiple sample InsMark illustrations, and it's called Will Clarkson. And so just to review, as you recall, there's kind of a couple different ways that you can get the carrier illustration numbers, the cash values, death benefits, over into InsMark. Your carrier software may have an electronic data link over to InsMark, in this case InsMark Essentials, or your carrier may have an arrangement with WinFlex where there's an automatic data link over to InsMark. And so, the first thing to do is, if you don't know already, is check with David Grant. You see David Grant, here's his phone number and email, to have him look into whether your carrier, your specific carrier, has a proposal system that will automatically link to InsMark. If it does not, or doesn't yet, then the way you can put in the proposal information on this particular case is you just click this button right here, Input New Policy Data. And I'm going to do that right now and kind of show you how that works. This is where we're going to enter in the premiums and cash values and death benefits and so on for a specific proposal run on our carrier software or WinFlex. So in this case, I'm going to run this for 40 years. We could run it for more or less years, but we'll do just 40 for now. Name of the insured, let's just call the insured John Smith. Male, age 46. Not a survivorship policy. Insurance company name, we'll just call this XYZ Life. Long product name, this could be whole life or universal life. In this case, we'll call it Indexed Universal Life. And short name, IUL. Initial death benefits, $750,000. And in this case, yes, to display interest rate on the proposals. And for this particular run, this was 6%. And then here you can put in your footnote. Now, once we get down here, it's asking for premiums and withdrawals and loans, and I'll show you my carrier illustration. This is my ledger, and you can see that I've entered a premium of $50,000 a year for 10 years. So it's a 10 pay. So I'll just show you how to do that. I'm going to put in $50,000 from years 1 through 10, and then click Apply, and you'll see automatically enters those in. This particular run also had loans of $126,000 starting in year 21 and went all the way out. So I'm going to switch this to loans and make this $126,000, it's actually $159 from years 21, and again, I only ran it 40 years just to kind of show you how this works. Click Apply, and then here you can see there are those loans scheduled. You can also enter premiums and withdrawals and loans directly in the array if you like. These are just speed keys that are helpful. The next thing we're going to do, now we scroll down and it wants to know the cash values and death benefits. For simplicity, I'm just going to enter in the surrender value and death benefit in this particular example. And then what I'm going to show you how to do is copy and paste. So I'm going to bring over my carrier ledger. There's my cash value and death benefit. Now I'm going to hold down the Alt key because I've got the cursor right next to the 13,822, and I'm going to press the Alt key, and then I'm going to left click and drag down and capture the first 25 years of data, and then release, and then there should be an option to copy to the clipboard. And then I'm going to click in the first year of the cash value and hit Control V as in Victor. See how it automatically enters those numbers in? Now I come down here and I still have to get my years 26 through 40. So I'm going to bring this back up and go to my next page. And again, I only did 40 years in this example. Once again, I'm going to put the cursor where I need it to be, hold down the Alt key, and you see how it changes that little box? Left click on the mouse, get the next 15 years of data, release, copy to the clipboard, go back, plug it in, and then Control V as in Victor, and there you go. There's my surrender values and my all my death benefits. So pretty easy to enter the data in this way if you do not have a linked system. Now, one thing I wanted to mention, if you have trouble copying and pasting from your PDF to the InsMark Essential system, as I've just done, one thing to try is make sure your PDF is stored on your hard disk. You're not trying to copy it from a PDF browser, web browser. If it still doesn't work, contact Julie Nayeri at InsMark. She's our sales manager, 925-543-0514, or you can email her at julien, for Julie Nayeri, at insmark.com, and she can help you with the copying and pasting from the PDF. All right, couple other things and we're done. I wanted to show you when you're entering the policy premiums and cash values and so on, we call that policy data up in the top. And you can store policy data. And you can keep it there forever if you want to and use it for different presentations or come back a different day. So in this particular case, I'm going to call this Smith Proposal 1. So I have it saved. And I'm going to click Save and Close. Now it's saving it. And what I want to show you is that if I go up to Policy Data, click on this up here, there it is, John Smith. So it's always there. You can always come in here and grab it and use it to create a different InsMark presentation or what have you. It's stored there forever. So in any event, going back, I'm back to the illustration of values module. And now you'll see when I've entered all the policy data here, and there's John Smith. There's the case we're working on. And now we've just got a few other questions to answer. So tax bracket, we'll make that 35%. In other words, this first section is wanting to get the policy data information. Now we enter the rest of the questions for the final InsMark presentation, illustration of values. It's asking me how I want to call retirement income for the loans. Do I want to give it a different name? Do I want to give it a different proposal heading? These are cosmetics. Do I want to show a rate of return line graph or rate of return right in the illustration? You got some options there. And then you can include those cover pages and you can go in, jazz up your output, and there's a lot of different photos you can use. And you can create full reports with page separators and stuff. And then one of the last things I want to show you here is this is the print, and this works the same on every module, so you just only have to learn it once. Once we get down here, the recommended reports are on the right. So if I click Print Preview here, it's going to bring up the recommended reports for illustration of values. And I'm not going to spend a ton of time here because we went through this on the main menu tutorial video. But you can see it. There's the preface, there's the numbers pages, and you've got the graphics and so on. However, there's times when you just want a single report. You don't want to look at everything and have all these pages. For example, let's say I just want to look at the matching values report. Well, that's where I'd use the quick preview instead of the print, over here, the big preview print. So I just want to see that matching values. I'll click quick preview and up it comes. And what you're going to see here is it's just giving me the one report, which is the matching values report, in this case saying if you want to match the cash values of this product, you'd have to earn 11.56% net. And you can also say, well, I want to look at the matching values, and I'm going to hold down the Shift key, and I want the illustration and the matching values, not all this other stuff. Just give me a quick preview. And what it's going to do is just bring up those highlighted reports. Here's the matching values. There's the illustration with the numbers. So it's kind of an efficient way to utilize and just look at the reports you want to look at. Last thing, and then we're done, is down here, storage name for this illustration of values presentation, we'll call this IOV Smith 1. And then it's asking what workbook name do you want to put this in, and a workbook is the digital folder for a specific client. So in this case, we'll call this the John Smith workbook, okay? And all of our InsMark presentations, no matter how many we run, we'll always put in this workbook, save and close. And so now, if we go, you'll see there's the policy data where we stored the premiums and cash values, but then the stored InsMark illustrations. This is where it shows your different workbooks. Here's the John Smith workbook. There's the illustration of values report. But no matter how many InsMark presentations you run, if you tell it to put it in the John Smith workbook, it will always be there and organize it for you, so you always can have everything in one workbook for a given client. Okay, that is the illustration of values tutorial. Thanks for spending time with us on this, and if you can, move over and watch the tutorial video in permanent versus term.